Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar where this time we want to talk about the CNI projects made using with Canadian Solar Design Tools and also with the all-in solution, KuBank. My name is Eloy, and I want to introduce Canadian Solar company and also the KuBank solution. And after that, I want to introduce my colleague, It, just to explain more in detail the design tool. Please note that all the participants are muted and listening in mute. The session will be recorded and emailed to all the participants after the webinar. And afterwards, we will have a Q&A session when we will have the pleasure to answer all your questions and doubts. Okay? Let's start it. Okay, sorry. My name is, as mentioned, Eloy, and I'm the business development manager for the commercial batteries. I think Canadian Solar. What is Canadian Solar? Okay, Canadian Solar was founded in 2001. In 2006, was listed in the NASDAQ, and we have a solar module capacity around 31 gigawatts. And regarding battery capacities around 30 gigawatts hours and 3 gigawatts hours for the battery and storage capacity. We are worldwide presence in around more than 20 countries. And in terms of records, we have a cumulative modules around 150 gigawatts, and solar power projects we are around 11.5. Another, for example, world-class behind is this tier one solar company in Bloomberg, tier one energy company also in Bloomberg in 2024, and different awards. Overview EMEA, because we are located in EMEA. The headquarters is in Munich, in Germany. We have 4 more offices and 3 warehouses, like in Madrid, in Italy, and also in Dubai. We have a global local presence with more than 150 employees in Europe, giving commercial and technical support to all of customers. And EMEA team is releasing shipments to over 19 countries in 2024. The product and application portfolio, as you can see here in this slide, we cover from the modules panels through the inverters, residential storage, CNI storage, and also utility scales. For all of these different applications, we can give to the customer from the modules to the energy for the battery energy systems storage. We covered the main sectors that we have in the market. That's mean for the residential with the modules and also with the product EPQ, CNI with modules, inverters, and KuBank, and then also for utility, also together with modules, inverters, and the SolBank solution. Why Canadian Solar? We have top products, especially with the modules. We have top products also with inverters. We have also a product with the SolBank in case of a utility scale, or for the energy storage system for the CNI inquiries. We can also offer, or what we can offer? We can offer a turnkey solution. That's been from the beginning of the design and planning, procurement, construction, commissioning, and also the OEM services. We try to cover all the different stages of the projects when the customer came with a RFQ. And it's important to give good quality services and also in the technology and solutions. Okay, why KuBank? I mentioned at the beginning, KuBank is an all-in solution. Why all-in? Because in the cabinet, we include the battery, the inverters, the thermal management system, and also the DMC. The KuBank with a power of 120 kilowatts and capacity of 247 kilowatt hours. The good thing of the KuBank is that you can, or the customer can, connect in parallel. We can connect 20 units in on grid mode and 6 units in the off grid mode. You can see here is a good. I can show you the system composition. In the right side, you have the 4 battery plugs. In case there is a problem with a battery, we can replace. The battery is composed with prismatic cells with LFP chemistry. In the number 3, we have the PCS. As mentioned in the slide before, we have a capacity of 125 kilowatts. In the number 6, we have the thermal management system, liquid for the batteries, and we have air for the electronic components. With the liquid thermal management system, we try to improve the lifetime of the battery and also the temperature for the battery. And the number 5 is the BMS. The BMS include the optim balancing system. This is also a good thing just to keep the same level of the charge battery. In case when the battery will be lower of the set level, then automatically the active cell balancing try to keep all in the same level. With the KuBank, we include an EMS just to use in the different business application. We have the possibility to decide what do you want to do with your energy. Do you want to a backup, microgrid, load shifting functionality? You want to use a set consumption with your PV? You want to have energy arbitrage? That means, do you want to import from the grid, or just to want a peak saving, just to use or reduce in the slots of the electricity period during the day? You want to shave this peak of when the electricity is more expensive. Now I want to give the turn to my colleague Ed, who will explain the design tool according to a project using the different requirement specification from our customers. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Eloy. Yeah, so thank you, Eloy, and thank you everyone for tuning in. So we have a big audience today. It's a webinar in English, and it's open for it's open worldwide, basically. So we have people from different countries around the globe participating today. So for people who have been following our webinars, we have done several webinars in the past to talk about projects for residential, projects for C&I, and also C&I with storage. And as my colleague Eloy mentioned, so we made the shift also into the turnkey energy storage business, C&I plus PV. And I think it's a good opportunity for you also to refresh your knowledge and see how we can design the C&I project, adding storage to it mainly for self-consumption purposes. So for this, we're going to use our the developed tool of Insun. So if you follow the link and then enter your credentials, if you don't have an account, just create one, and then you log in, and then you'll have two main tools to choose from. So one is the string tool, which is more for string configuration, basically to to distribute the different strings on the inverters and the modules that you're using. And then the plant configurator is more a more comprehensive design tool, 3D. Yeah, and you can choose whichever location that you want. We'll start with the simpler one, so the string tool, and we're going to create a new project. All right, so I'll call it C&I webinar with storage. And then here you give some reference, could be the date or the month where. So I'll put this July 2025. Then description. So it's PV with storage. And then you can just plug in the address that you want. You can put the exact address, or you can just put city, and then the software will try to get, let's say, the average of the meteorological data that you'll plug in. So I'll put in an address that I'm going to use for in Spain. Yeah, so as you can see, once you type in the address, then you get the coordinates. This is the meteor data provider, it's PVGIS, and then you also get the location temperatures from minimum, average, and also maximum. And then here you can start designing your PV plant. So you can select up to 3 PV plants or 3 sections of a PV plant with different characteristics. So you have the azimuth, so the plant orientation. So we can just leave it to 0, or we can just set it as a minus 90. Okay, and then I can choose the tilt angle. I'll just put 10 degrees, and then installation type could be freestanding or roof mounted. I'll go for roof mounted. Then here from the modules types, you can select the different modules that we have in our portfolio of Canadian Solar. So I'll go for the modules of the CS 6.248 TD, which range from 435 to 460 watt peak. And then I just go for the module of the 450. Then I can choose the number of modules that I want in this PV field with this azimuth angle, which is east, minus 90 is east, and then 10 degrees tilt angle. So yeah, once you plug in the number of modules that you want to connect, then this PV array power is automatically calculated. I'll just go for 120. So we're talking about 54 kilowatt peak. And then I can also activate another field. So we'll have an east-west orientation, but instead of minus 90, I'll put 90 in this case, which is west with the same tilt angle, and then also roof mounted. It automatically selects the same module type, but of course, if you have different modules in the different PV fields, then you can just select the other module. It's no problem. So yeah, in total, I have around 110 kilowatt peak in my PV plant. And now, of course, I can select up to a third PV field. So if I need to do this, I simply click on this and then it's activated. Okay, but I'm not going to select this, so we'll go with 2. And then we come to the inverter selection part. So it shows you the different inverters that we have in our portfolio that are suitable for this size of installation. So we'll go for the C&I series, the 100 to 120 kilowatts. And then inside this series, we have inverters of 100 kilowatts, 110, and then 120. Then we have versions A and B, which differ in the number of MPPTs and also in the current withstanding capability. I'm going to go with an inverter of 100 kilowatts, and then we'll go with version B. Version B allows you to connect up to, it has 9 MPPTs and then 18 strings in total, and then a current withstanding capability of 32 amps. Talking about maximum power point current, IMPPT. So yeah, I'm going to select this inverter and then I'll click next. Okay, so one inverter should be enough, and then here the DC to AC ratio is automatically calculated. So we have a DC to AC ratio of 1.08. Bear in mind that the string inverters from Canadian Solar, they can handle DC to AC ratios of up to 1.5, which gives you flexibility in the design. So I'll hit confirm, and then now the PV field 0, which refers to the first one, and then I have 120 modules to distribute on the first inverter. Okay. So I can do this manually if I want, or I can just click calculate. Okay, basically anything in green is acceptable. Okay, and then now I have distributed 120 of the total of 120 for PV field 0. And then for the second one, which is PV field 1, okay, let me click on this. Okay, sorry. I have to activate each PV field. So since we are using only one inverter and we have 9 MPPTs in total, so we can allocate, for example, the first 4 MPPTs for PV field 0, which yeah, so up to 4, and then the fifth one will assign modules that are in PV field 1. So we have to have the independent MPPTs since we have different orientations. Yeah, so basically I can do this manually. So going for 24, then 24. So I still have 24 modules more to assign in the first MPPT. So I'll try 30. Yeah, so now I have 30 times 4, then we are fine. So we have assigned all modules in PV field 0, which has an east orientation to the first 4 MPPTs, and then I have MPPTs from 5 to 9 to use for PV field 1. Okay, so I can have less number of modules. Yeah, so 24 is okay. Yeah, so as you can see, I have assigned, when you see 0 here, it means you have assigned all modules for PV field 0 and all modules for PV field 1. Then I'll click on next. Okay, so you can see the summary of the PV plant that you have designed with the location data, meteorological data, the modules that you have chosen, estimated generation data, also performance ratio, and also the way that you have distributed the modules on the different MPPTs. Okay. If you want to add a self-consumption to this, a self-consumption where you can define the load consumption of the customer, then you need to click here on add self-consumption, and then it's activated. It's in blue. Remember to save your work every time that you finish part of your design, so that you don't risk losing everything if something goes wrong. Okay, and then we also have a financial part. We'll go through that. So I'll go to self-consumption. All right, so for the self-consumption, there are two ways to define the load profile that you have. So currently we have predefined profiles for the residential. So basically you ask the program to calculate the consumption based on the type of appliances or loads that you have at home, number of people, what type of lighting that you have there. Then if you have no idea about the consumption, if you have an idea about the consumption but not divided by bands, so you just type in the total consumption that you have, total annual consumption that you have, and then the program would basically create a load profile for you. The only thing is that for now, and now we are working on this in this software. So we have it only for the residential. For the C&I, you have another option, which is to upload a profile. So you have a load profile in with a CSV extension or an Excel. Then you can either upload hourly values, or you can add values of each 15 minutes, like many countries, like customers from some countries have. So I'm gonna upload a profile in Excel that I have chosen before. So with a 150 megawatt hours, and then now it's uploaded. So very important is that, as you can see here, so when you hover the mouse over the exclamation mark, over the question mark, sorry, so it says upload annual 8,760 hourly values in a single column. So this is the only format that the software would accept an Excel file. So you only have one column, and then you have hourly values from the first hour up to the hour 8,760. Okay, so you can click on view consumption profile, and then basically you can change between 1 month and another. You can see the daily consumption. Those are the blue curves are monthly values, and then the red ones are yearly values. Okay, yeah. So this is a C&I project, but without storage up until now. So to add storage, you can click on this, and then you can directly select the Canadian Solar AC storage. So here it says recommended battery capacity of 7.31 kilowatt hours, which means I've done something wrong probably in the design, in a way that the battery storage, it's I would say too small for a capacity of this type. So maybe I'll go for a calculation. Okay, so I'll do calculation with I know it's a residential profile, but at least you can see how you can use the battery to store the excess PV generated energy. So I'll put 150,000 kilowatt hours per year. Then this is the consumption profile. Of course, it's more for residential, but you can do or create one for C&I. And then I hit okay, KuBank. Okay, so now you can see now it needed to update so that you can see the recommended battery capacity. So we are at 249.26 kilowatt hours. So we can choose one KuBank for this project. Then you can see how the production and consumption percentages, how do they vary month over month. You can also choose between the maximum PV production, average consumption, average production, and also minimum production. So let's take one of the months of summer, so June or July. So the production in June. So we have in self-consumption around 17% directly from PV. Directly goes directly from PV, and then the 17.1% from storage. Then the rest is being injected. Then the consumption is divided between self-consumption, which is the PV, and also the rest is from storage. So based on this profile that I have chosen, like almost 100% is covered by PV and the battery, which is not always the case, but really dependent on the load profile that you choose. Okay, so let's click on the financial part. So I need to save before I go there. Okay, I have forgotten to activate it here, so now it's in blue. I can go there. Yeah, so this is more for financial analysis of your project. You can here set the number of years of your analysis. Here you set the capex and opex, so you can do it only like in simplified form. So how many euros per kilowatt peak? So I'll just plug in a number of 1,200 euros per kilowatt peak, which includes everything. So the PV, the inverters, and also the batteries. And then here where it says battery cost is more for if you read the note here, so specify the cost of the battery. So this is more for the replacement of the battery, but not the initial cost. So if you are intending on replacing the battery anytime during the economical analysis, then you set the cost of your battery. So you can also add degradation of it here. I'll just click 1% or 2%. Okay. And then here, if you have chosen any type of financing, then you can set the numbers here. Then if you have feed-in tariffs, also the purchase price of electricity. So I'll just use 0.15. Of course, you plug in the numbers that you as a customer or your end customer are buying or selling electricity at. If you have any projections of the annual electricity prices, then you can set it here. I don't know, 1%, for example. Okay. And then here, if you have any grants, something that I forgot in the financing part, you can just activate it. I know some countries in Europe, but also like anywhere in the world, they have subsidies from the government, then or any other type of subsidies. Then you can activate it here and listing how many years that you have. Okay, so I'll click on calculate. I don't know how my analysis would look like. Okay, so I basically have a payback period of around 6 point something years, yearly rate of return of 5.85%. So of course, you can still play around and then try to optimize the design of with the number of PV panels that you have there. Maybe you can do something regarding the load consumption of your customer before you even start the design of the plant. So yeah, that was the first part of the string tool. Yeah, so now we are done. We can also generate a report with all the data, with all the results that we have obtained here. Okay. Okay, so this is the report with all the data that we have seen, the graphs, also the pie charts showing the production and consumption, the financial analysis. So yeah, the tool is open access for everyone, and then you can use it to do your first designs. Then now we're going to move to the plant configurator, the more comprehensive 3D tool. Then we're going to create a new project. So yeah, I'll do the same project, but this time we're going to do 3D design. I'll call it C&I with storage. Set July, and then C&I with storage. I'll just click Spain. So I'll use a location in Spain, but you can choose any location that is available on the map. So I'll go for this location in Spain, okay, which is in an industrial area of Madrid. And then you come here, as you can see, there are many industrial roofs. As you can see, you can choose, just for simplicity reasons, I'll choose this roof. So whenever you find the roof that you want, where you want to do your design, you click on it, then you can see this blue flag, and this means it's gonna crop this part of the map. So you click on create. All right, so this is the roof where we're gonna build our PV plant. So every time that you do a 3D design, the first thing that you have to do is that you select or specify the roof. So you have predefined shapes, or you can simply use draw polygon tool if you have a regular roof. So I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. Now, when you click on the last one, then you have your roof created. Okay. Then after that, you click, you specify or you select the type of roof that you want. So we have residential roofs, we have industrial ones. So this is an industrial one, as you can see, it's flat. Some industrial roofs, they come as sheds or with different slopes or barrel. So choose the most appropriate appropriate one for your design. Just stick with the flat one. Then here you can change the wall height and the parapet height. I'll just leave it at 0.3. This is quite important, especially for shading analysis. So I'll just click on create building. Now we have our roof, and then we have also the building already created. We were up until now, we were in 2D design. If you click on this icon on the left, you can see this 3D design. Okay, I'll go back to 2D, and then something that I can do so that I can put some objects on the roof. I can I can change the transparency of the building. So basically, you can see the objects that are already existing on this roof. So I can put the transparency to 0, and I can see the objects that are already there. So the next step would be to place some objects. So as you can see, there are some skylights right here. I'm not going to go and draw each one of them, but maybe I can at least show you how you do this. So you click on one of them, and then I'll just use one big skylight that covers those 4. To make it bigger, so you click on the object, and then here you have different options. So translate, if you want to move it from one place to another, if you want to duplicate it, and then if you want to scale it. So we need to do scaling, of course. So now I have the 2 axes activated. So I just do it this way. Now I have my skylight, not 100% accurate, but at least something that I can use for a preliminary design. I can also do duplication. Okay, so now I have another one. Okay, then I can also create a smaller one and then change its dimensions. So duplicate one. Okay, and I click on translate. Oops, should have moved the other one. Okay, and now I can simply change the scale. Okay, quite good. You can see there are also other items on the roof, and you can choose some other items that you can place there. You can also place shading objects in the surrounding, and then also play around with the heights and the width of each of those objects. But for time constraint reasons, I'll just go ahead and show you how you do the rest of the design. So for anybody who has been following our webinars, so we have also added one section for the mounting structures. Okay, so you can choose from different mounting structures, but for now, yeah, you can also choose trackers, so dual axis, east west single. So we're going to be updating this also soon, but for our webinar, I'll just use one of the custom ones. So as you have seen, we have used an industrial flat roof, not east west, but yeah, here you can also modify for example, the height of the lowest point of the PV. You can choose the tilt angle. I can set it at 10 degrees. Okay, if you have portrait modules rather than landscape, you just specify this. Okay, and then you choose the modules, the module that you want. So I will use the same module that we have used in the previous tool. So the 6.2 48 TD. Then I'll go for the 450, create prototype. Okay, now you have your prototype created, and then you have to apply it to the roof or do what is called fitting. So if you click on it, you need to specify from which direction you want the or the orientation of the panels. So we have one option here that is called edge. So you can basically specify which edge that you want to use. So this is south is almost this way. So I'm gonna go here. And as you can see, the azimuth is around 16 degrees from the south. And then once you apply this, then you can see the total number of modules that you have placed, and then also the total power of your plant. So if you're okay with this, you can just hit place. Okay, and as you can see, you can leave also some space between the objects that you place there. If you want to be more accurate, then you can just drop another object here and then also modify the 3 dimensions. So the length, width, and also its height. Okay, so other modifications that I can do, for example, I can change the number of modules in a row. So if you click on the row, then you get those items, enable stretch, or you can duplicate, you can rotate. So I'll just click on enable stretch. Then you can decrease the number of modules in a row. So if I click on apply, then I have only 8. So it actually makes sense that if you want to delete any of the modules, then you take the ones that are closest to the edge, so that you can avoid any shading. but I can also add or take out more modules using also the same option. Yeah, so having done this, now I have reduced the total power of the plant to 126 kilowatts. And then the next step would be I can do shading simulations, okay, or I can go ahead and do the string design, basically going back to the same step that we have seen in the string tool. So I click on string design, then I can see the different inverters that I can use. So I have from 15 to 120. I have the bigger inverters, which probably not suitable for a 126 kilowatt plant. So I'll go for the 120. Then I'll choose the 120 instead of the smaller one that I have chosen before. So as you can see, also we have two versions, A and B. Version B comes with 9 MPPTs. Version A comes with 6, but can handle currents of 40 amps. The B can handle currents of 32 amps. So I'll click on calculate. Okay, so here it's suggesting 2 inverters, but 2 inverters too much. If I go with only one inverter, then I have a DC to AC ratio of 1.05. I click on confirm. And then here, since we only have one slope or one orientation, then I can tell the software to calculate the number of modules for each MPPT. So it does this automatically. And then now I have assigned all modules from the 280 that I have on this industrial roof. So sorry, after calculate, you click on apply. All right, so you can click on assign all fields if you want to see how the modules are connected between one and another, or you can just skip the assignment for now, click on summary, and then you have your configuration. Okay, with this first configuration, you can export the 2D drawings, you can export single line diagram, you click on export documentation. And then you can see the summary of your design. So up until now, we haven't added storage, as you can see. I can see the technical drawings, the electrical design. And then I can also add components of self-consumption and financial analysis. So once I activate them, then they are in blue, and then I can use them. Don't forget to save your work. As I said before, I'll try again to upload the profile. I'll see if it works this time. I'll click on reload. Okay. So yeah, so as you can see, this is my PV production, and then this is my load profile. As you can see, it's much higher than what I have of PV production in January. I can click on another month, then things change, and then the PV production is much higher in April, for example. In July, it's back to how it was before. Then yeah, I click on add storage for this project. I can choose the number of batteries. So I'll do it with only one. Okay, yeah, so I think the profile is not correctly uploaded. Yeah, okay, so in this case, in this case, I'll just do the same thing that I have done before. So I'll just calculate it, although it's a residential profile. I can just set 300,000 kilowatt hours annual consumption. I click on reload graph. Okay, so if you want this section to be included in the summary, you just click on print in summary. Then you do your financial analysis. Okay, I'm not going to spend more time on this. Plug in the numbers that are relevant to your project, and click on calculate if you change any of the parameters. Okay, well, here I want to show you two more sections that we have in this 3D tool. So bill of materials. So you have a bill of materials that is automatically generated based on the items or components that you install on the roof. So you have 280 modules of the 6.2 48 TD 450 watt peak, and also one inverter of the 120 kilowatts. Okay, you can also add other BOM items for the AC or other costs, or if you have discounts and grants that you want to prepare for your customer. And then the last part is you can also generate a financial or commercial offer. Just choose whichever values that you want to include in your offer from the name of the customer. Also, if you have any discount, as I said, if you want to include also additional documentation, like data sheets of the mounting structure, of the data sheet of the modules that you have used, of the KuBank in this case, and also the inverters. If you are including something additional, or if you want to specify to your customer what is included in the quotation and what is excluded, then specify it here, and then it will appear in your report. You save and export. And then you get a comprehensive report with all the data that you have mentioned in your analysis. Okay. All right, guys. So yeah, that was it for this webinar. I hope it was helpful. Of course, if you optimize your design, the load profile, and also the PV that you have that you want to install on your roof or on the roof of your customer, then you can play around with the numbers up until you get the optimal design based on the area that you have available, and also if you want to include or not a storage component. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and I think we have some time for questions.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's continue with the question that we have received from the different people. Let me start it. Here we have one question: how many KuBanks could we connect in parallel? Okay, as mentioned, we can connect on-grid till 20 units. And off-grid 6 units. We can say 6 units, what we tested in the headquarter. But in case you have some special case that you won't connect more, we can test it and check with the R&D team. The good thing that when you connect the KuBanks in parallel, the same EMS could manage the KuBanks in parallel. Here, there is another one. Is the tool free to use? Yes, it is free. And after the webinar, we will share the link when you can use and download. Okay, another one. Can you share information about the production location? Yes, of course. The production of the KuBank is located in China. And regarding, let me explain a bit regarding the KuBank. Normally, the cells, we have the own production, and sometimes when we have some lack of materials, we use another partners. But anyway, the battery pack we produce also in the facilities in China. Okay. Okay, here another question. It is possible to export the simulation result for use in technical commercial proposal? Yes, as explained or showed it in the last slides of the tool, if it's possible. And also taking the opportunity because here, what is the format of the consumption profile? Is you can download in PDF format. Okay. And
Eloy,
sorry.
if I may, I think the participant was asking about the when he said format. If I understood right, that what data that you have to have in the Excel file. So it's basically a single column, and then
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
8,760 values. So hourly values for an entire year. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Eloy.
Yeah. And also here says if the KuBank available worldwide. Yes, we have different versions. We have UL version for American market. We have a IEC version for the EMEA region, and for the Asia, we have the Japanese version. Okay. What have we here? Yeah, is the KuBank certified? Yes, here in Europe, we have certified especially for the main markets. Don't get me wrong, but especially we have for the Italian market, for the Spanish, for the German. In Germany, we have, for example, for the UDE for the 4110, 4120, and 4105. And okay, and what I have here.
Eloy,
Yeah,
I can see some questions also here from other
yeah.
participants.
Yes,
So
please
from
go ahead.
from Mohammed. So he's asking what are the main advantages of Canadian Solar's design tool compared to other platforms like PVSys or Helioscope. So we created or we have developed this tool to make simulations easier for our customers mainly. So as you have seen, only the Canadian Solar products are available from modules, inverters, and also storage. One more thing to add is that I would say the specifications or characteristics of the battery, so of the KuBank in this case, it's already integrated in the tool. Means like the number of cycles that the tool can do, the warranty conditions, the degradation, they are plugged in the tool, pre-programmed, if I may say that. And then I see another question. Are those tools free to use? Yes, we have already said that. And then
Yeah, imagine.
will the design tool be upgraded to support hybrid system, example PV plus diesel plus battery? Not for now. So we are focusing on self-consumption with PV plus battery. But of course, you can use the results that you get from the simulations to simulate another case with the diesel. But at least for the short term, we have no intentions of adding diesel to it. Then is it possible to export the simulation results for use in technical or commercial proposals? Of course. I've shown how you can do both of them for the string tool and for the 3D design tool. What is the format of the consumption profile? I've already said that. And this is also repetitive. Is the KuBank available worldwide, West African market, for example? Yes. So Eloy has talked about the whole world, but of course we have presence also in South Africa, and then our colleagues in South Africa are the ones who manage requests for the African market. So feel free to contact us, and then we will really direct you to the person in charge. Then Benedict, why always rooftop design? Why not the PV stand mount? I mean, you can try the PV stand mount, and then if you have any questions, you can just come back to us. You can also share the design with us. I just think that rooftop designs, I would say, at least in Europe, it's the majority of requests that we get are for industrial roofs. So that was the only reason, I would say. Would you please share the presentation? Would you please share the link
It's
of
no
the
problem.
design tool? We're gonna do this. Genset integration, I've already answered this, not for now. Do you have utility level capacity, KuBank, off-grid or island version? Yes, I mean, if you're talking about utility
We have
scale,
for
yeah.
we have for
Eloy?
off-grid as explained, and also island version. We have also one option to paint for decoration, and that will be no problem to install in a island version.
Yeah, Eloy, I think
The
they are also
software, yeah.
they are also asking for utility scale solutions. Would you say something about the SolBank, for example?
Yeah, in case, for example, because this session was to talk about the KuBank for the commercial industrial, and in case of the utility, please feel free to contact us and we can talk in detail. For that case, that we show at the beginning the presentation, we have the solution SolBank, and in that case also we are talking about a DC solution. But let's talk in another. If you want, last share with us a email, and then we can talk in another separate discussion. Yes,
Okay.
the software, as mentioned, is free. Yes, you will receive the link for that. The number of years of warranty, we include a 5 years warranty, but we can extend till 10 years. And also, again, is this free version of software? Yes. And yes, as mentioned at the beginning, Jamal, we will share the link of the record session and also the presentation and so on. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I guess
I
that was it
think,
for today.
yeah, that's all from our side from today. I want to thank you, all of you, for your time, for your interest in this design tool, and also in this all-in solution KuBank. And thank you so much for all. And I repeat again, in case you have any questions, please feel free to contact us, just to share email. We will welcome to receive any request from you and try to answer so detailed as possible. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you,
a nice day.
guys. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.